Have just one reliable name, NJ Marketing, offering various marketing solutions like social media marketing, telemarketing, email marketing, search engine optimization, graphic designing, web designing and development, and mobile application development. So call now at 647-824-1485 or email at njmarketing15@gmail.com or log on to njmarketing.ca.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Health is Wealth. I am here with another episode of Health is Wealth. Hope you all are doing well and have a healthy life. So today, viewers, we are going to discuss another important issue which is faced by our community in each and every family, in surrounding areas, with your friends, colleagues, everywhere. You can find this issue is very important, and you can find people with this illness which is neglected, which is ignored, which is not accepted as an illness in our society. People take it as stigma when it comes to mental illness. So what is mental illness? Mental illness is the reduced ability of a person to function effectively over a prolonged period of time because of significant level of distress, mood behavior, and changes of mood. You have sometimes you are hyper, sometimes you are hypo. So mood behavior in that illness, and person is try to be isolated, lives alone. Don't want to go in gathering, don't want to go in parties, don't feel like to work in office or in school. If it is a child, don't feel like to go to school. So, and the other is they just want to disconnect with the people. Then they don't want to do any activities. So when these are the things which we get in mental illness. So it can occur in all ages, in all cultures, in all educational level of people, and in all level of income. Whatever it's low income or high income, a person can have at any time mental illness. So if they are prone to that, and mental illness usually it's due to some trauma or shock in adolescence, in adulthood, if somebody has faced. Normally we all go through different stages of life. We all have sometimes happiness, sometimes sadness in the life. We can have, and it's we can change our emotion according to the situation, because we all have some happy moments or some sad moments. Like if somebody has lost their father or mother, it's the emotions are different. It's normal to behave sad, but if it is prolonged and it's not coming after from that situation, then this is going towards mental illness. Then this is mental illness, that the patient has, that person has mental illness because he is not recovering from that condition. And if the broken relationship, or somebody has divorced, or somebody have change of environment, like children going to school, have changed the school, they don't like it. But for a normal person, they come after a few days, they will be all right. They will accommodate according to the situation. That's the human nature, to accommodate. But if you are having a mental illness, then these things prolong, and person is not coming out from this situation. So that's why this mental illness should be diagnosed as early as possible. Now, what are the types of mental illness? Mental illness may be due to mood disorders, that depression, person having is having a depressed life, or anxiety. And anxiety, fear of something, you have palpitation, sweating, you have fear of going into crowd, and you want to be all alone, if somebody is, आप देखें कमरे में बंद हो जाते हैं, बाज बच्चे कहते हैं हमने नहीं जाना पार्टीज में, अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ नहीं जाना, तो ये अलार्मिंग साइंस हैं. आप देखें आपकी फैमिली मेंबर में ऐसा कोई तो नहीं है जो अकेले रहना पसंद करता है, जो बिल्कुल चुप रहता है, उदास रहता है. तो ये अलार्मिंग साइंस हैं आपके कि आप फाइंड आउट कर लें और उस पर्सन को जितना हो सके ट्रीटमेंट दिलाएं और उसको खुश रखने की कोशिश करें और उसको पार्टीज में इन्वॉल्व करें, कम्युनिटी में इन्वॉल्व करें, ताकि मेंटल इलनेस के उस लेवल तक ना जाए जो सुसाइडल अटेम्प्ट तक चले जाते हैं. तो वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ आवर सराउंडिंग. और उसके अलावा मेंटल इलनेस की एक शिज़ोफ्रेनिक कॉज है. शिज़ोफ्रेनिक में आप डिल्यूशन इल्यूजन का शिकार हो जाते हैं. पर्सन इज लिविंग इन हेलोसिनेशन. सो यू हैव टू गेट ट्रीटेड फॉर दिस बिकॉज दिस इज अ वेरी डेंजरस सिचुएशन. Schizophrenic patient have so much think that the person living with him or her wants to kill him, or that's a sort of hallucination, and this occurs so much that this person can become danger for the society. So that's why schizophrenic patient should be diagnosed early and should be treated. In other the personality disorders, agar aap dekho, some people are functioning behavior are different, and so these things, like they behave differently, they are always negative, think the negativity in their personality. So then this is also a clue that this person is having mental illness. Another is the eating disorder. When the person is obese, or especially in girls, they are weight conscious. They get so much so that they get anorexic or bulimia. So these are the things which have to be seen in mental illness. And what are the risk factors of mental illness? Risk factor may be in the genetic. It may be in some families can have this running in their family, so it's genetic. But the others are if your abuse or trauma in your life lead to mental illness, some bad memories in the childhood, if not treated for properly, then they have mental illness. And the stressful events like financial problem or divorce or broken relationship and loved one's death, these sort of thing, these stressful events may, in the mental illness may aggravate. So environmental exposure to such as exposure to drugs or alcohol. When mothers are using alcohol or drugs, the fetus that is born will be having mental illness. And the socio-economic condition also play a role in having mental illness. So these are some risk factors. And symptoms, as I told you, the patient doesn't want to be alone, doesn't want to move in the parties, doesn't want to work properly. Their workability is not proper at the workplace, and they are always depressed and thinking negatively. So these are some symptoms which you can observe in the mental illness. And if the mental illness means that physical illness can also supersede, like heart attack can occur in these sort of patient, diabetes can occur in such patient, and weight gain or weight loss in mental illness is also you can see that mental illness patient either eat more or they don't eat at all. So this is also seen in mental illness patient. This has to be taken very seriously. It should not be taken as a stigma, but it has to be treated properly. So for treatment, the role of the family, the role of the friends is very important. You have to take this patient either to the doctor, psychologist, psychotherapist, spiritual way. If somebody is getting benefits from spiritual therapy. So these are some treatment which you can do for the mental illness patient. So it is very important to go to the doctor, talk to the family members. Don't sit quietly in a dark room, because this will take it's very fatal, and your life will be lost if you are suffering from mental illness. So viewers, we will discuss more with our guest. I have called educationist from Mental Health Association of Canada. So he will be joining us soon, and we will be coming back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Here you go.
चॉकलाटो
असली बात तो अंदर है छुपी.
बिस्कोनी चॉकलाटो, इसके खास कुकी में है छुपी रिच क्रीमी चॉकलेट.
बात तो है इसमें.
ऐसी ही बात है तुम में भी.
छुपी है तुझ में जो बात दिखा दे अपना वो अंदाज.
बिस्कोनी चॉकलाटो, it's special inside.
रंग वाली भरम वाली न्यूज वाले व्यूज वाले खेल वाले मेल वाले कराची वाले खैबर वाले लाहौर वाले और पिंडी वाले इन शॉट पूरे पाकिस्तान वाले चिली मिली की हमत वाले कैंडीलैंड चिली मिली.
मैं हूं जहांगीर खान, स्क्वाश कोर्ट का चैंपियन, लेकिन रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट का चैंपियन मोहम्मद कामरान हुसैन. मुझे उन पर यकीन है, आप भी करके देखिए.
जहांगीर खान और हजारों क्लाइंट्स का चहेता मोहम्मद कामरान हुसैन. रेजिडेंशियल प्रॉपर्टीज और इन्वेस्टमेंट्स दोनों के लिए ही सही मशवरा, सही फैसला. मकान जिसे आप अपना घर कहने में फख्र महसूस करेंगे. मोहम्मद कामरान हुसैन, 4163185264.
This is the world of internet. You have everything on your computer and mobile screen. If you wish to promote your business through internet, especially to perfect target market, then you have just one reliable name, NJ Marketing, offering various marketing solutions like social media marketing, telemarketing, email marketing, search engine optimization, graphic designing, web designing and development, and mobile application development. So call now at 647-824-1485 or email at njmarketing15@gmail.com or log on to njmarketing.ca.
An exclusive multi-designer studio specialized in wedding planning services, bridal wear, casual party wear, jewelry, shoes, purses, dupattas, men's and kids' clothes. You name it, we have it. Some of the Pakistani designer labels we carry are Sani-K, Agha Noor, Sana Safinaz, Anas Abrar, Zainab Chutani, Wahaj Khan, Fatma Khan, and many more. Parahan, sheer elegance. We believe in quality service and best price.
You can contact 9075 Teddy Road West, Unit Number 1, Milton, Ontario.
Welcome back, viewers. So we have Gary Bure with us, who is adult educator in Canadian Mental Health Association, and he is here. Welcome, Gary. How are you doing?
Good yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So he's here to tell us about mental health and mental illness. So Gary, what is mental health and what is mental illness? What's the difference?
So again, mental health is, everybody has that. The mental health is basically a psychological and emotional well-being that everybody experiences. Now mental illness, that's basically the conditions of your mental health. So those are disorders that you can experience, such as anxiety, eating disorders, bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, that affect your emotional and behavioral well-being.
Okay, so how you will tell us what your association is doing and what is the statistic of Canadian mental illness in our society?
Sure. So our organization, Canadian Mental Health Association of Peel Dufferin, what we do is we advocate for mental health awareness. So trying to crush that stigma that is out there or that perception that people have with mental illness, thinking that it's a negative perception or being, as opposed to embracing it and being more aware of our understanding about it, trying to make it the same as, cancer, diabetes. Again, mental illness is an illness as well. It's no different than those pieces as well.
And it's very important to treat it, take it as an illness.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's the statistic over here?
So again, when it comes to statistics, 1 in 5 people within Canada will experience a mental illness, as well as when you look at the numbers like that, 2 out of 3 suffer in fear of silence, and because they're afraid to be ridiculed or judged on that, being made fun of, things of that nature. And with that being the case, then you have about 500,000 Canadians who are afraid to go into work. On average, this is a weekly, so 500,000 Canadians.
That's a great number.
A week are afraid to go into work, so they'll be skipping out on work a day, right? So you can see that it also affects the company because of the fact that productivity will be going down because you have less people at work. There's more pressure put on other individuals and associates. So you can see that there's not a lot of emphasis or promotion being put into associates or people that work, right, in regards to mental health.
So Gary, let me know how people behave when somebody says that he's having mental illness.
So again, they're not being really mindful of the words that they use. Another key thing is educating oneself. So if people don't understand or know what mental illness is, then they would find a tough time as to some of the words that they would say. So for example, if somebody has it's schizophrenic, people might think that is that person crazy? Are they psycho? Right? So then they would stay away from them. But cases like this that's not necessarily the case, right? Again, schizophrenic is, there's delusional thoughts in one's mind, but that doesn't make them any less of a person, right? They should definitely be talking with them, treating them as a human being. Again, there are treatments for people that have that are schizophrenic, such as medication, but calling them crazy, stupid, psycho, that doesn't define who they are. It's an illness that they do have. So that's where you should be careful as to the words that we use and not judge or ridicule anybody that does experience from a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what further education you provide to the patient of mental illness?
So again, like I said, so when it comes to our organization, Mental Health Association Peel Dufferin, like I said, we continuously advocate for bringing that awareness and again, crushing that stigma that is around there. So there's a lot of people within organizations, schools that we've gone to where they don't know what is mental illness and what is really necessary, what it's all about. So that's why we're going out there promoting it, advocating it, so giving an understanding about what it is and how common it is as well.
Right. Yeah, people are shy talking about mental illness. Yeah, as it said, it's stigma, rather it's illness. This is what we want to take it out, that it's not a stigma, it's an illness, and it can be treated and can be save the life of that person. So what else?
So again, a lot of this stuff does come back from the people that have experienced a type of mental illness when they were a child. So when it comes to young adults, we've had up towards about 70% of young adults that experience a mental illness from when they were a child. Factors like that from when they experience through a childhood could be from the environment, again, their behavior, family. Childhood
trauma, childhood abuseness, these things count, right?
Correct. That is 100% right. So that's what we've come across. Now, when it comes to women, women are twice as likely to be depressed or experience depression. Now, the reason why that is, it's because of the fact that women, they tend to see a doctor more often.
Yeah.
As well as postpartum depression is very common.
Very common, yes.
Right? So about 8 to 13% of women that have a baby experience postpartum depression, and it can last up to 2 years. Now again, that's because of the fact that, like, again, there's a chemical change and imbalance once a baby.
Hormonal changes are in the body, and people don't understand that.
And they don't,
and the relatives and the people surrounding don't, instead of being sympathetic with that person, they create problems.
Yeah, it's more havoc because again, it's not a easy experience giving birth to a child. Right. And again, what the body takes time to adjust, because for 9 months it had something growing within, like the woman had something growing within them, and now once it's delivered, then it takes time for the healing and recuperation of that, right? And then again, the body's changing now.
The body is changing, the hormonal changes, and some people can get postpartum depression,
right?
And it has to be treated. It has to be taken as illness.
And that's why they tend to see doctors as well more often. So there's that statistic where we notice that women
okay, so you mean that they are more often, women are going to the doctors than men. That's why you know that depression rate is more in women.
In women, yes. And because again, with men, it comes down to that stigma where men experience the fact that, because I'm the man, I have to be brave, I have to be tough, I have to suck it up, right? So I can't.
Ego problem.
It's the ego problem, or it's the culture and behavior, right? Because then it makes them think that they're weak. So men are supposed to be considered, the macho individual, doesn't feel pain or sympathy, things like that. So therefore, they don't express what they're feeling, any of the stresses that they're going through. That's why the numbers tend to be a lot more higher for women. But it could be just as equal for men. It's just that there's also that stigma around men that they can't express those feelings, because then they'll feel that rejection or ridicule, right? They would experience as well.
Okay, so these are the ratios that you have seen, that Canadian statistics shows that women are more depressed than men because of this reason.
Yes.
Okay, so then if somebody is diagnosed by mental illness, how the society will take it, and how that person is taken then?
Well, again, we've noticed that still they're not taking it as well as we would think. Again, there has been a lot more progression because there has been a lot more awareness around mental illness, right? There's organizations that are also promoting it and building awareness and programs within their organizations about mental illness. And again, it's like I say, when it comes to mental illness, it's 20% more of our population. So that's basically 20 out of 100 individuals will experience mental illness, right? So that's more. So that makes mental illness more common than diabetes, cancer, having a stroke, and so that's why we want to get that awareness out, because it's an illness, and B, it is more common than some of the other illnesses that are out there, right? That are experienced.
So about the diabetes, you were saying they take pills when somebody have any illness. They take pills, but when somebody has a mental illness, what they do?
So when it comes to mental illness, like how I mentioned, about 20% of the population experiences a mental illness, which makes them more common than diabetes, cancer, or having a stroke. When you have those type of illnesses, you would take some sort of medication, or you see a doctor for that type of treatment, right? But what happens when a mental illness, it should be technically treated the same, because again, it is an illness, so you should be promoting that self-care aspect, taking care of yourself, seeing a mental health specialist, right? Another example would be reading a book, just relaxing yourself, taking yoga, exercises. These are just some examples. So mental illness should be treated and understood the same as like any other type of
physical illness.
Correct, because the fact is, it is an illness, and it needs also treatment as well, right? So if you're diabetic or you have a heart attack, if those go untreated, then the situation is going to get worse.
So what happened if your medical condition got untreated?
So as I mentioned before, about how 20% of Canadians across Canada would experience mental illness, which is similar to having other illnesses such as cancer, stroke, diabetes. Let's look at it from this perspective. If you have diabetes and you don't take your diabetic pills, what would happen? Or if you have cancer and you don't go for cancer treatment, what would happen? Things like this, again, the situation would get worse, right? Potentially also leading to death, right? Without these type of treatments. So the same would even apply for a mental illness, right? If you don't take any type of treatment, such as self-care or seeing a doctor, if there's any type of medication that they can give, or even like doing yoga, eating right, or exercising, the situation can get worse.
Yeah. So viewers, we are talking with Gary, and we will continue talking and learning more about mental illness because this is a vast topic and this is a very sensitive topic. I want to continue this topic in my next episode also. So because our time of this episode is finished, so we will continue next time with the same topic. See you then. Goodbye. Keep healthy, be healthy, and live healthy and eat healthy.